AITAH forgiving my daughters 1 week to leave my house after what they did to their half-brother? I have 2 daughters, both over 20. They graduated college and moved back in with me because they couldn't find a job. The house is my late husband Robert's house. For context, their dad and I got divorced 9 years ago. I got remarried to Robert and had my 7-year-old son, Tom. The girls didn't have a good relationship with Robert. In fact, they hated him because of what their dad filled their heads with. They lived with their dad, they chose to, before going off to college. Robert passed away 6 months ago after a long battle with disease. It was just me and my son Tom. The girl's dad got remarried last year, and the woman is basically a witch. That's why the girls stopped visiting there. They lived in a rental apartment during college, and their dad used to pay for rent, but he stopped after his wife fought with them. The girls couldn't get a job to pay for rent and asked if they could move in with me and Tom for a while. I, of course, said yes, although I knew how they felt about Tom. They moved in, and they were nice to Tom, but also distant. 2 days ago, I had an unexpected call and needed to leave the house. Tom was in bed all day because he was sick, and I asked the girls to look after him for 2 hours until I got back. I left quickly, then an hour later, I got a text from Tom asking me to come home because he threw up again in his room. He said he called for his sisters to help, but no one responded. I immediately tried to call them, but both lines were busy. I did my best to come home earlier, thinking the girls weren't at home, but it turned out they were. One was downstairs the entire time. The other said she was using kitchen appliances, that's why she couldn't hear Tom. I was going to believe them until Tom said he tried to text them, but they didn't respond. I checked their phones after they tried to deny it, and he was right. His message was marked red, but no response. I blew up at them both and called them pathetic. They argued that I was making them act like they are the parent and placing responsibility on them. I knew this wasn't about that. They hated Robert, fine. That might be a little understandable. But Tom is a kid. He has no part in all of this to be treated like that. I knew they neglected him on purpose. So I told them they have 1 week to move out. They started arguing and even crying, saying I'm being too harsh on them and acting worse than their dad's new wife. I said this wasn't up for discussion, and now both of them are giving me the silent treatment, basically making me feel guilty about the whole thing. Maybe I've made the wrong decision, but seeing how they've neglected their brother merely out of resentment and hate makes me feel upset and quite concerned to have them around him.